Imagine reaching a level of financial success where your income is literally too high to spend. Like, you physically cannot spend money fast enough to make a dent in what you're earning. Sounds like a total fantasy, right? Well, it's actually a definable, achievable, final stage of a very specific journey. Today, in this explainer, we're going to break down the 7 steps of being rich. It's an exact blueprint that takes you from complete financial dependency all the way up to absolute abundance.
So, here's our map for today. We're going to diagnose your exact financial stage by climbing through dependency and survival mode, the comfort of stability, achieving true financial security, becoming financially independent, and finally, reaching freedom and abundance.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, Dependency and Survival Mode.
We're starting at the very bottom of the ladder with Step 1, the dependence stage. You know, the biggest roadblock here? It actually isn't a lack of money at all. It's a flaw in psychology. To graduate from this stage, you have to initiate a brutal mindset shift. You absolutely must get rid of the mindset that someone is here to pay for your expenses, whether that's your parents, a partner, or just the system. As long as you expect someone else to foot your bills, you are completely stuck at the starting line.
So how do we actually escape this dependency? Well, you can't just sit around waiting for a lucky break. The action step here is you must acquire new skills to reduce dependent time. Think of it like pulling a lever. Learning to code, mastering sales, getting a specific certification, you learn, you apply, and you actively buy back your own self-reliance.
Okay, once you start making your own money, boom, you immediately enter Step 2, survival mode. And the source material here is incredibly strict and urgent. It warns, in all caps, you cannot do emotional spendings. When you're just surviving financially, every single dollar is basically a lifeline. There is zero margin for error. That means no retail therapy, no spontaneous treat-yourself dinners, and absolutely no emotional Amazon hauls at 2 a.m.
To get through this stage, you really have to understand that managing your finances is actually an exercise in managing your mind. The requirements are clear. 1, no emotional spending, and 2, you must control your emotions. You just can't let a bad day at work or a sudden burst of excitement dictate where your cash goes. Emotional control literally equals financial survival right here.
Moving right along to our next section, the comfort of stability.
This is Step 3, and it finally brings some breathing room. Now, here is the exact metric for stability. Ask yourself directly right now. After all your basic living expenses are paid for the month, are you currently saving at least 20% of your income? If you can successfully cover your life and still put away a minimum of 20%, congratulations, you've officially reached stability. You aren't just surviving anymore.
But, and this is a massive but, the blueprint drops a really stark warning here. Stopping at stability versus pushing forward. Most people hit this 20% mark, it feels safe, the pressure's off, and they just stop. Listen, stopping at stability is the ultimate trap that keeps you from ever tasting real wealth. You absolutely have to keep pushing forward.
Which brings us to our next section, achieving true financial security. If you refuse to settle, you enter Step 4. And the source actually notes this is typically considered after you get married and start building a fortified foundation. So how do you know if it's truly fortified? There's a rigid crash test rule. If your income were to completely crash tomorrow, that crash cannot affect your usual routine for at least 2 whole years. Think about that. 2 full years of living your exact same lifestyle with absolutely zero new money coming in the door.
To actually make that 2-year buffer a reality, there are some very strict mathematical security qualifications you have to hit. Number 1, your annual income must effectively be double your baseline needs, which means, number 2, a massive 50% remains after expenses.
To put that into perspective, half of your income covers your entire life, the mortgage, the food, the bills, all of it. And the other half, an entire 50% is remaining to spend more or save or invest. At this point, it isn't just about saving a little off the top. It's about generating such a huge surplus that your essential life only consumes a fraction of your earning power.
Okay, once you've mastered that 50-50 split, you level up again. Next section, becoming financially independent.
This is Step 5, and the source defines this as a truly glorious stage where your desires finally take center stage. Look at how aggressively the math shifts here. To qualify as truly independent, your expenses take up just 25%, meaning a massive 75% is remaining to spend more. Your actual cost of living is just a tiny sliver of what you bring in. The vast majority of your money is completely unallocated, which gives you immense power to deploy it toward whatever you wish.
And hitting that 75% remainder puts you right on the doorstep of the highest echelons. Our final section, reaching freedom and abundance. As we look at Step 6, freedom, and Step 7, abundance, we are officially leaving the rigid percentages completely behind. No more 20% savings or a 50% living expense. We've transcended basic math, guys, and we are entering the ultimate, almost abstract levels of the wealth journey.
Step 6, freedom, is defined by this single incredible benchmark. You name it without considering you can buy it. That's it. That is true financial freedom. The price tag is literally no longer a variable in your decision-making process. If you want it, you name it, and the transaction is done without a second thought about the cost. And finally, we arrive at the absolute summit. Step 7, abundance. The source describes it perfectly. You cannot even handle your income by spending. Your earning power has basically become an avalanche at this point. No matter how many luxury items you buy, no matter how extravagant your wishes get, your spending physically cannot keep up with the sheer volume of money you're making.
Your incomes are simply too high to spend. When you hit this point, where the inflow permanently and massively outpaces any possible outflow, you've done it. Welcome to the wealthy category. Honestly, it's a problem we would all absolutely love to have, but it marks the official completion of the 7 steps.
We've climbed the entire ladder in this explainer today. From realizing someone else isn't going to pay your bills, surviving emotional spending, hitting that 20% stability mark, locking down a 2-year security buffer, freeing up 75% of your income for independence, all the way up to a point where cost is irrelevant and your income outpaces your wildest spending. So I'm going to leave you with this. Really be honest with yourself. Which of the 7 steps are you on right now? And more importantly, what exact new skill are you going to acquire today to push you to the very next level? Because remember, most people stop at stability. Do not stop there. Keep climbing.